Hello, viewers. Welcome to yet another very exciting episode of the Big Tega podcast. I have a very special guest who is a music artist, entrepreneur, and a voice coach. Please join me to welcome King Mo.
Thank you, Big Tega.
King Mo.
It's a pleasure to be. It's a pleasure. Yeah.
How you doing? How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Good,
thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Despite your busy schedule.
Yeah, thank you.
I know you're very busy, man.
We all say that, don't we? But yeah, thank you so much. I was a smooth ride. I think it was we picked the perfect time, so I think it was a good ride. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, good. I like your afro. You've been keeping it for a very long time, or
this hair. I have not for a long time. I kind of have this genetics in my body, I guess. I really don't have much facial hair or that, but see this guy over here, it just grows. So, and I enjoy just living it, let it just blossom. So, but thank you very much. Thank you. So I like to have the one you have on, but you see, unfortunately,
really?
I can't.
You want to go bald like me?
I would like
an old man.
No, it's not. I don't think it's like an old. It's not only old people or old men who use it. It's actually a kind of brand of its own. I don't know if you understand.
Okay, yeah.
Like it matches perfectly with different people's style.
Does it match
for
with
me? Yeah, perfect. You see yours, really? That's your style. Me, if I try it, let's not go there. You don't want to see me.
Okay. All right, cool. Let's dive into it real quick. Tell me, who is King Mo?
Okay. Well, my name is King Mo. That's my music name, my stage name, because I'm a music artist and a creative. But my names are Oluwabusayo Omoni Ojo. I'm from E15 State, Nigeria. I grew up in Delta State. I was born in Delta State, really precisely.
Wow.
And yeah, I know you were going to say, you weren't expecting that. So I thought I was going to spice that up and put it in it in your head. So yeah, I'm the sixth child of six in a family of six. And yeah, I guess I'll talk more about myself, but yeah, that is King Mo. I'm a music artist. I'm an entrepreneur, and yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
I didn't know my brother is sitting right here beside me until you just said it, man.
I know.
That is awesome to know.
Thank you.
That's great. Okay, cool. So tell me about your story, your journey.
Okay, so if you want to talk about my journey, funny enough, I always thought that my first album, I was going to title it, Journey, for some reasons, but I did not do that. You know how you always plan, and then, yeah, everything changes. But I would say my journey is in two lights. Yeah, I think my entrepreneurial journey and then my musical journey. So which one would you want me to dive in first?
Start from anywhere. We're going to talk about both. We're going to talk about everything you want to share with us.
Okay. All right. Let's start with the entrepreneurial journey, if I want to put it that way. I think I've been someone who, from a very young age, I was always interested in business, if you want to put it that way. Mm-hmm. I remember growing up in Delta State, and my mom had a shop, and it was always like that getaway point where you have to be in a store and kind of like play a role, like be like a manager in that role, and every time my mom had to leave the store to be like, hey, Busayo, because my mom calls me Busayo, she'd be like, Busayo, you stay in the store, I'm going to go somewhere. I always liked it because, that was just one time where I know I had to be in charge, in control of everything. Mm-hmm. So I guess it all started from there, if I want to put it that way. Yeah. And then I got into uni. And when I was going to get into university, I got admission to study law because I wanted to study law. I thought I had, some. I thought I had me, to actually be a good attorney or lawyer, if you want to put it that way. But I got into uni, and Nigerian education. It happened to me, and in my first year, they actually disaccredited law in my school. Then,
and what school was that?
It used to be University of Ado Ekiti, but now it's Ekiti State University. Okay. So those of us who were in law at that time, because it was disaccredited, I mean, whatever that English is, they moved us to different departments, some philosophy. And I thought, hey, what am I going to do with this? It was either I, go back home or look for another school, or just stay back and, try another department. Mm-hmm. But the only other department that appealed to me at that time was the literature department, because it had to do with arts and creativity and all that. So I felt like, oh yeah, it's something I've always liked. So I went into that. I always relished dramas and all that stuff. So I said, okay, I'm going to do this. And maybe later on, they'll move us back to law. So I got in there, and my brother, Nigerian education happened. Throughout my year, though, in school, studying English literature, I think from my second year, I always applied to another school to get into law. I only gave up on my final year when I was writing my final exam. Yes, at that point, my auntie, she was a professor in the school then, and she told me that, is it that you're not seeing the handwriting on the wall? It's either your name gets missing on the list, or something weird happens. I passed the exam and then something else happens. So at that point, I just, you know what? I think this is how it's just meant to be. This is how the story is supposed to go. So I let it go and I graduated. But the key thing there is, while in uni back then, I was also pretty much excited about business as well. Even though I was in school, I was on the side running a business with one of my uncles who actually had like a cafe. Mm-hmm. They called it Cyber Cafe then. Yeah. So after school, most times I go over there and then I help him manage the night section. And then I always felt like this is, I just found this joy whenever I'm doing that. Then I graduated, and I told myself, I am graduating with English literature. What am I going to do? Graduated with English literature, and I was like, what do I want to do with this?
English
literature, yes. Yeah. There are only few career paths in this, which is more like you're either a teacher, or you try your best and you try and be maybe a secretary to someone, or you go into creative arts, completely. Mm-hmm. Now, not to say while I was in school back then, even though I was doing more of literature, I was also doing music on the side. There were several creative groups that they had, like dance groups, and I wasn't keen about the dance part, but I always loved to help them write songs, be where they record the song, help them maybe sing or perform the song on it. You know how drama works. There's some people in the backstage, and the actors are actually on set, and then they're doing, and then you just behind the scene and just singing. So I enjoyed all that. Even though I was I already started having that love for business. At the same time, music for me was just a passion. I always woke up to my dad playing maybe Don Williams, or playing Sonny Adele in the morning, or playing Fela. So, and for me, music was a big thing, if I want to put it that way. Music was a big thing. So I always held it close to my heart. And graduating from uni, that was when, you start to ask questions as a young man, Even before you start asking those questions, people are asking you questions, but I think the most important thing was me asking myself those questions first, before people started asking those questions, So I asked myself, what would I want to do? And as God will have it, I left Ado Ekiti immediately I finished, because I told myself I don't want to be a teacher. I don't know how to teach. I don't think I want to do that. So I already have good experience with tech, working in a cyber cafe and all that. I also had good passion for technology and how it's been used. So I moved to Lagos. That was when my journey started in Lagos, not knowing anybody in Lagos. I moved to Lagos, with the faith.
That was brave.
Yes, I know. I didn't. Sometimes I ask myself, what were you thinking, this guy? But anyways, at that point, I just wanted, I knew it was either now, or never. A lot of my mates were back trying to get there's a name they do call it, trying to do sort out their registration so they can get ready to go for the NYSE to serve. I'm like, what am I serving? I At that point I felt like I really didn't have a skill, other than the whole school thing, the knowledge I had in school. And I felt like the only thing I can do with that, is actually to like teach. And I don't think that was what I wanted to do. So I had to just move away from that. I did not do all the other stuff people were doing. I was like, you know what, I'll come back for this. So I moved to Lagos. And then I got an opportunity with someone, a very good man who up to this moment I always respect him for giving me a chance, because it's a tech. He was in tech, and I remember the first time I met him and he said, "Oh, what did you study? Can you code?" I'm like, "Code? No, I studied English." And she was like, "So what am I going to do with you? I don't need a secretary. I have a secretary already." And I'm like, "Look, I cannot code. I don't know how to do anything about that." But I told him, I'm a very smart guy. Just give me that chance and you see what I can do. And that was all I said. And I was like, okay, do you know what? I'll give you a call. And then he called me, and then I started working for him. He taught me most of the basics in programming. That was how I started as a software developer, So gradually, I worked there for a while, for a bit. And then I thought it was time for me to move on and do my thing. And I learned through that period. I learned a whole lot from him, especially. And I think that kind of gave me that momentum to be like, you know what, I can actually do this on my own. So I started out, trying to set up my own business. I had a name for the business, but that name never translated into something, a registered business. But I eventually had another business which I registered. But, it was just like that baby step that I was taking, that start. But I kind of, started to use that to do like my grass work, like the grassroots work, meeting people, networking. And that actually gave me some level of connection, if I want to say that. And from there, I translated into, if I would say, my future, where things started to happen, started my company, properly registered company. And then
here in the US? Or
no. Back in Nigeria, in Lagos, it was Brainy Codes, which I was in partner with one of my friends. We went to secondary school together, and he was in Bayelsa at that time, and I was in Lagos. So with that company that I told you about, that wasn't properly registered, but we're doing business together. I was getting gigs and all that. So I spoke to that, my friend, who were always, because he's also a programmer, so we normally exchange products. If I have a product I'm working on or project, he jumps on it or I jump on his. So we're like, look, I told him, why not move over to Lagos? Since there's more opportunity in Lagos, let's actually turn this into like a partnership, a proper company. Let's make it big. And that was how the journey started.
So what was the company about?
It's called Brainy Codes Global Technologies. So what we did, so we're fully into tech. We rendered software development. We did trainings. There was so much. We were just like in that tech space. So Brainy Codes was it, and that was where my entrepreneurial journey. I started pivoting into several other things, but that's like the entrepreneurial side. And I also have a couple of startups as well.
Okay.
But no, I'm not going to talk about that for now. Then the music part, while I was, working with that person.
Well, before you said the music part, when did you move into the US? Did you start music back in Nigeria?
Oh yeah, I started music way back in 2016. Yeah, that was when I already started singing a long time. Like I told you, way from uni.
So
I did my first recording 2016.
So were you doing the music alongside with your
I was
business then?
As at that time, because my business really started, like it started to really grow from, I would say 2017, 2018. As at that time, I was just, I was working with several companies, like on a contract basis. Even though I was on my own, I was not taking jobs like full time. What I just do is, I tell them, I have my business, but I can do this for you. I can do this for you. So that was what I was doing. But the music part, it wasn't really big because I knew I could do it. I had passion for it. I enjoyed it. I would be on my own. I would sing. I would do that. But I would write songs. But I just didn't have the resources. Let's put it that way. As at that time, and I also didn't have like that exposure to really be comfortable, to making music until I met someone who actually gave me that platform. Yeah.
So when did you transition into music in the US? Like when you moved into the US, did you just start music, or when did you start music
way
in the
before.
US?
I did start music in the US. I think it was just like a continuation.
No, I mean when you came to
Yeah.
the US, when
Yeah.
you moved to the US.
Yeah.
When did you start music? When you moved to the US?
Oh, I think sorry, my bad. I wasn't quite catching what you were saying.
Did you just continue music immediately you came in?
No. So
Okay.
I thought I was going to continue music. So yeah, music, I don't know about other people, but if you don't love music enough, if you don't have passion for music enough, and if you leave music, for 2 seconds, music is gonna leave you for 5 years. That's what I can say. It will leave you for 5 years. So I came in, and I was that 1 year that I was doing my master's degree, because I came in, I was in my MBA in Boston, Holt International Business School in Boston. And before then, I had a couple of songs I had recorded. Okay, look, I'm gonna push the songs out, and I just kept them, and then I released my EP just after getting into the US, and
what year was that?
That was it, 2022.
Okay.
Late 2021. I released the EP 2021, and then January 2022, I got in.
Was that when you moved into the US?
Yes.
Okay, 2022?
Yes, January.
Okay.
And
2021 or 2022?
2022.
Okay.
And then, but I'd already released the EP, but I just wasn't sure what I was going to face, in terms of the MBA degree. I wasn't sure. I didn't know it was going to be that crazy, because I felt like initially it was like, MBA now, it's big boys thing, You're just going to talk business, we already know this stuff. But yeah, it was a different story completely. And because I was passionate about business as well, and I wanted to really learn a lot, I felt like I was caught in between this love of music and, this business thing that I really do care a lot about. And I've heard a lot of people tell me, like, look, you have to pick one. But I always ask myself, why do I have to pick one? I know, how people address things are different, or how people feel like they want to address it is different. But for me, I'm not choosing which one to drop. I'm not dropping both. That's just me, Whatever the future holds, I don't know. But, I trust God, and I'm a big believer in Christ. And I know that, look, these two things, they are my passion. They are everything to me. So even though I had like a serious struggle with music that 1 year while I was doing my MBA, honestly, I really didn't lose touch too much. Honestly, I did not lose touch too much. And that's why 2023, from the beginning of 2023, I've just been cooking. Let's just put it that way, because I missed it so much.
Cooking what?
Music.
Okay, that's good. How has your journey shaped you from being an entrepreneur to being a musical artist, transitioning from Nigeria to the US? Okay. How has that journey shaped who you are today?
Well, I think a lot has shaped me. If I want to put it, I think I became a man faster than I thought I was going to be. Like I said, usually as the sixth child in a family of six, I was still expecting to get that baby treatment, if you want to put it that way. But I lost my dad quite early in 2007, just when I was actually writing my WAEC then. And yeah, I think everything I think that was when the transition started for me, because everything kind of shifted. I had a really close relationship with my dad. It was someone that, even at a very young age, he used to have grown-up conversations with me like I was an adult. So it kind of filled me with a whole lot of confidence that I thought I was going to have him for a long time. But yeah, no, I didn't know it was going to happen that fast. I was actually preparing for my WIC, when he passed on. So I think my transitioning started then. And I just knew at that point I had to be a man from that moment on. And starting music, for instance, in 2016, I didn't just start on my own, even though I knew I wanted to do music. But to be fair, I wasn't really sure how I was going to go about it. I didn't know who I was going to talk to. I didn't know how I was going to start, but I knew I had the passion and the talent for music. And then I met someone she was a gospel artist, and we were friends, and she always like encouraged me. And after a while, she was like, look, I've heard you sing, you can actually do music, full time. And I was like, I don't know about that, but, she kind of was the first person who kind of believed in me and gave me that platform. So I started like going out with her, started watch her perform. She's a gospel artist. Her name is Ada.
Okay.
And, she kind of gave me that platform, to really see how things work, how it worked. And yeah, I think that was where my music started. And I recorded my first song under her label.
Okay.
Yeah, Free
What
Nation.
label was that?
It was Free Nation.
Free Nation.
Yes, Free Nation.
In Nigeria?
Yeah, in Nigeria. So that was where I started, recorded a couple of songs. But at the same time, at that time, I asked myself the question. I was a young lad, and music, I kind of realized quickly that, music is not something you can. It's really hard to do music as an independent artist, to be fair.
Okay.
It is hard.
Why did you say that?
There's a lot that go into music. It's one thing to actually have the talent. It's also another thing to be like in a pool where you have millions, of other talents.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to lie about it. Nigeria is one country that is filled with talent. Honestly, you see different people with all kinds of skills.
Yeah.
You wonder like how this. We're so blessed in Nigeria, but hey, that's just another story for another day. But one of the reasons why I said it's challenging is because for you to actually get music out there, you need to talk about how you're going to record the song. You need to, at least have a producer.
Yeah.
You need to promote the song. Now, if you don't have a label or like a label who believes in you 100% and is ready to back you and all that stuff, trust me, unless, like I will always say, grace finds you, and just, gives you, and you yourself, another thing that you probably would have done is probably you've been properly prepared. You had preparation before then, and then an opportunity comes, there's that opportunity. But let's not say that it happens to everybody, It doesn't happen to everybody. You see, like maybe out of 100%, you just get 5%, 5% of people actually get lucky like that. The rest, they have to actually like work hard or, try to do it by themselves. So as an independent artist, it's hard. Producer is going to charge you a ridiculous amount of money. You haven't even held the mic. So how are you going to do it if you're an independent artist? And then that's one thing. And talking about putting your song out there. I mean, now it's a bit easier, because I remember when I started in 2016, if you had a song, you probably had to, take it to the radio station. And who know you for the radio station like that? Even if they're going to take a song, you probably have to pay some ridiculous amount of money. And how many radio stations are you going to go to? Unless you want to take it to Alaba anyways, and how those people work. It's hard, to be fair. It's hard to actually, as an independent artist. But for me, I told myself, look, I am not doing music to blow. It has never been in my radar. It has never been my goal.
So you don't want to blow?
I'm not interested in blowing.
So
honestly.
Why are you doing music?
Because I love it. It's an art. And you see that joy that comes from actually having a mic in front of you and being able to express yourself and being able to bring joy to people's lives. In I think it was 2017 or 2018, there was a song I recorded and I just carelessly released it, just put it out, put it on blogs. and I got a DM from Twitter, and a lady just texted me and said, like a long text, and I'm like, what is this? And she was like, she was actually at the point of, actually committing suicide. And she listened to one of my songs, and she was like, look, I just had renewed hope, that
God is great.
I probably don't need to go now, And I was like, wait a minute.
Heard your song.
Yeah.
Your song ministered to her.
Yes, and trust me, it's not like lift up your hands, gospel song. I know
it wasn't. It's the words that carry
yes,
power.
exactly. And the fact that particular time I released that song, because I myself, I was going through so many things. I was not sure of my future, and there was so many things I was going through my mind when I wrote that song, and I released the song. The title of the song is called Remember. And the song was actually just talking about, look, as long as you have trust in God and you have faith in God, you just don't worry about anything. Just do you, but just remember that God is there, and when you least expect, He's gonna come through for you. So I just put the song out there, and actually that gave me renewed hope, because at that time I was already thinking, this music, maybe it's just going to let me just do business, and when I have that, I could do music. But that gave me that push to be like, what, I'm gonna keep making music. I want to make people smile. I want to make people happy. I want to make people dance. But not really. The goal is not to blow.
Not to make money.
No, not to blow.
Have you taken this as your full-time career?
At the moment, no. It's not a full-time career for me. It's what I love doing, what I enjoy doing. When I have a mic and I can perform and I can sing and I can write songs, yeah, that's it.
And it's a good thing. You are there not just because of the money,
yeah,
but you are there to, send a message,
yeah,
to people through your music.
Yeah, that's definitely definitely my goal.
The example you just gave, like your music touched someone who was about to commit suicide.
Yes, yes.
The person changed their mind.
Yeah, that was a tipping point.
Accept life.
Yeah, that was a tipping point for me. So I was telling my wife, I was telling her, like, look, the level to which I want to do music is, I have this big vision. I see, and I've seen myself. The best thing any creative can do for his or herself, is to just put a chair in the center, and just look and just see the millions of results that you're expecting. So for me, I do that, and I was telling her that the level to which I want to make music, I've not even started,
Okay.
So for me, it's a big vision, music and making music.
Okay. Can you tell me about a time when you had no idea about what you were doing?
So many times. Yeah, honestly, so many times. I think most especially when I told you, like, around that 2015, 2016, when I just moved to Lagos, 2013, for that period, that space of time, when I moved from Ado-Ekiti to Lagos, I honestly wasn't sure. I didn't know, what was going to happen to me. I wasn't sure what my future was going to be. To be fair, the plan I had, I'd already programmed my mind that, look, I was just going to go to school, graduate as a lawyer, just come out balling, get a good job and just, live that good life. But yeah, we can always plan, and it don't always work out like that, the way we planned. So I guess those few years were pretty challenging for me, because I was clueless, to be fair. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I just held on to those two dreams that I know that I had, which is, one, I knew I had a knack for business, and two, I knew I wanted to do music. If there was anything I was very sure about, those two things were like the key things that I was sure about.
Do you think you've had any huge mistake due to your decisions?
No, I don't make mistakes.
Do you think you would have done anything differently?
I feel like every time I say that to myself, that I don't make mistakes, because what I make is, and I get lessons. Because I feel like if you keep talking about mistakes, then you try to avoid certain mistakes, and in avoiding certain mistakes, you actually don't get to grow and you actually don't get to learn some key lessons you probably would have learned. So I prefer to call it lessons, not mistakes. So yeah, I've had lots of lessons.
So
Yeah.
what did you learn from those lessons?
I think one of the key things I learned with lessons is, look, we're humans or human beings, and sometimes you will not always get it right. I know there are lots of motivational speakers who will come and tell you, look, you can, if you do this, if you follow A, B, C, D, you will get to E, whatever. It doesn't always work like that. Sometimes you actually follow everything to the letter, and then letter E goes missing. What happened? Nobody knows. So for me, I really don't. I feel like the lessons are kind of what shapes human beings, you know? Yeah. If you want to say it, mistakes sometimes, not all the time. There are some mistakes that, you probably could have avoided or could have been avoided. There are certain mistakes that could have been avoided. For instance, some people would try to talk you out like you're good friends, there are friends and there are good friends, and there are some that don't really care. They're just waiting for you to make that mistake and just watch you go down all the way. Be like, I knew it was going to go down. But, there are good friends, who can actually tell you, like, look, I think you're making a mistake, but it's one thing for us to be told. It's another thing for us to also listen as human beings, because sometimes, we set our minds is set on something, and, you don't want to stop. You just want to do it. So, yeah, I guess so.
What motivates you to keep doing what you're doing as a business owner and your music career?
I would say for music, it's the love for music, the passion I have for it, and the fact that I see joy most times, when people listen to my songs. And even me, I listen to music almost all the time. Like I eat music, I sleep music. Even when I'm working, I'm listening to music. And so the same kind of love that I have for music is the same kind of energy like I kind of put into my music, to bring joy to people's hearts, really, make people excited when they're down. Yeah, for me, that's it.
What's your vision for yourself, your music and your business for the next 5 years?
Right. For my music right now, I just want to keep making songs because, like I said, I had like a break. And I told you, if you leave music for 2 seconds, it's going to leave you for another 5 or 10 years. So, yeah, I'm really trying to, get back into it. And currently my EP, I was, because I was in business school, I could not really focus on it 100%. So soon as I was done, I started working on the EP again, trying to promote it and working on videos as well. I'm trying to shoot a couple of videos for the EP. And I have a couple of singles that I would be releasing before the end of the year as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And for my business, I have a couple of startups. Obviously tech that I am working on soon. Probably on the next podcast we can talk about that one. Okay. But yeah, something massive for me. I believe in one of the key things that I pride myself in is looking for a solution. I'm really solution driven. I like to identify a problem and try to see how I can fix it. So
yeah. So what are some of those great resources that have helped you along the way?
For me, as much as I want to say money is important when you talk about resources in business and even in music, at the end of the day, I feel like at the end, people is the greatest resources you can ever have. And so far, I think God has blessed me with really supportive people in my life. I'm someone I have friends and I don't have friends, Yeah, I surround myself with people who are supportive. If I feel like I feel your energy around me is not good, I'm sorry, I can't hide it, I'm not I don't want to be faking, no relationship, because I see people as resources, I want people to see me as someone who they can call, when they have issues or when they want to talk or something. So for me, I think it's bigger than money as well. There are lots of things money cannot do. there are lots of rich people who are unhappy. They have the money resources, but really they really don't have that people resources. So I think
Where do you draw your inspiration from?
where do I draw? Okay, I'd say first
Inspiration is like a well.
Yeah, I know. First,
Fetch
first,
water, you draw
first.
the water.
The first place I draw my inspiration from is actually God. And if I say God like that, it might sound too cliche and it might sound too like big, but in the things of God is where I draw inspiration from.
Okay.
Nature, the creation, His creation, and for me, I'm kind of like, I don't like this. I don't see things from the surface. You know, I like really to dig deeper into things. I like to deep dive. But number one place I get my inspiration from is really God.
Do you consider yourself a detailed person?
No,
Why not?
I don't like being too detailed. Like, let's just say it as it is. And when you start to over egg the pudding, then it goes bad. I understand there are people who are like, look, they will do things to the letter. Like, this has to go for this. It's not like I do vibes and inshallah. I don't do that. But like, so in terms of what
not
you
being
said,
detailed is what works for you.
Yeah, like
you just want to make it.
I just want to make it happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's just make it happen. Like, okay, this is it. Let's make it happen. I feel like sometimes people get in too much details, and before you know it, like time is gone. Resources could be wasted. You wanna go over. Nah, don't want. Sometimes, you know, sometimes I feel like I can edge towards it, but I like quality stuff. For instance, if you want to put it that way. Yeah. For instance, if I develop a product as a software developer now, for instance, if I develop something, a product, I want to be detailed with it, like not over excess, like in excess, but I want to do my due diligence to make sure the client or the customer is actually getting like quality product. So I would go over it again and say, okay, make sure it's quality, but it don't mean that I know what I'm talking about. There are some people that I've worked with, I've worked in teams, and I just see some people like, look, while you're there dissecting and talking, guess what? When an idea drops in your mind, this is something that I've noticed and I've experienced it so many times. When an idea drops in your heart, trust me, God doesn't just drop that idea for you alone. You are not that special. God gives everybody, you know, He gives His children equally. So everybody gets something, and that's why you see you have something in mind, and then you're working towards that thing. Say, look, I have this idea, I want to do it, and then somehow you hear something like this already exists, and then you be like, no way, how come? Yeah, you were busy drawing details everywhere, so just get it done.
Do you have mentors?
Yeah, I do.
Who are your mentors?
My dad, number one. Yeah, he was my mentor. He taught me a whole lot of stuff that I didn't even expect. Like, you would not expect a child to be taught those things. I told you my dad passed 2007, a long time ago. But even though I was a young lad then, still, he actually taught me a whole lot. And another person that I could call my mentor is Ada. We're very close.
Yeah, the one you mentioned.
Yes. She actually we talk a lot. So for someone like that, I really don't you see this whole mentor thing. I don't know. I don't read books and say this person is my mentor. I don't know you. I don't know you. So I can read what you say, but I don't know what you do as a person. So I would prefer my mentor to be someone I have communication with, someone that when I'm going through difficult situation, I can call up and look, what do you think about this? This is what I'm going through. And yeah, for me, she's been there. She's someone that I can pick up the phone anytime. If she gets busy, she might be on tour, she might be anywhere. If she sees my call at 2 a.m., she's gonna pick up. So yeah.
What's one myth about music artists that you would like to debunk?
Maybe not music artists, but I know there's like this myth that celebrities are always like wayward and all that stuff. I don't think so. I think there's like the art and there's like the person. a lot of people tend to see the art alone and not who the person actually is. So I think if people start and learn to separate the art from the person, then maybe we could see things differently.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is my own take on that.
Awesome. Is there anything I've not mentioned that you would like to say today?
Oh yeah. We've not. So I released an EP containing 5 songs, and those songs are amazing. And like, you should listen to it. I don't know if you actually had time to actually like listen to the album. It's the EP. I made it. Funny thing about that EP is, I made it with my producer Tex Jam and Wise. Tex Jam lives in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Fantastic producer, amazing guy, and we made that EP on my bed, like chilling on the bed. Wow. It was so nice because we had a studio. Could have used the studio, but my producer Tex Jam is like, it was just like, let's just do something. Let's just have fun with this. Let's chill on the bed. The first track on the EP, Barbie. I have pictures, like I was practically chilling on the bed and just like recording this song, and you would not know, but yeah. And the EP is called No Rush, and once everybody listen, enjoy it. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music, it's everywhere. YouTube, just search for No Rush by King Mo, and you're gonna love it.
Yeah. What's your dream for the future?
My dream for the future is that everyone would love everyone like they would love themselves. I think if everybody would genuinely love their neighbor, then life would be a lot better. You will not hate on someone who is richer than you, or you will not hate because your friend is driving a Lambo and he still comes to your house knowing you're driving a Toyota. You're not going to hate on him and say, guy, they see in a Toyota, they drive. Like, look, I think if people can just remove material things and just focus on why we're even living in the first place, the air that we breathe, and just focus on other things other than trying to survive. Maybe that's my vision, my dream for the world, maybe the world will become a better place. Yeah.
Are you working on anything right now?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm not working on an album at the moment, but I am working on singles. I'm currently recording, and I'll be releasing a new single before the end of August. So yeah, you can look forward to that.
So where can you be found online?
You can find me on Instagram. They call me King Mo. It's just like that. Type it. They call me King Mo. And on Twitter, call me King Mo, and also on Spotify, King Mo. Spotify, Apple Music, I'm all there. You can find me. Just type in King Mo.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, what do you consider being successful?
I think achieving my set goals. Even if my set goal is to maybe release an album, I feel like if I'm able to do that, that's it. I've actually fulfilled my dreams. For me, that's how it works. A lot of people, I believe, they feel like success is never enough. And the truth is, until we realize that human beings, we're never satisfied. Nothing is ever enough for human beings. If we get this done, you set another target for yourself. Sure. If you complete that task and then you set another, you have 1 million, you want 1 billion, you have 1 billion, you want yes. So it's a never ending circle of just chasing shadows. So I feel like for me, I have, for instance, for me, what I consider would be my own success is I have a pet project, like a pet product that I am working on, a startup, and as long as it grows and I'm able to help people in Africa, help people, have solution for people to be able to do what they need to do. That's it. I'm happy. I'm happy. That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Thank you very much, Kimo.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
It's been an amazing time with you. It's been a great conversation.
Same here. Yeah. It's been amazing. Thank you so much for having me. And
thank you for finding
big shout out to Big Tega for having me on the show. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello, viewers. It's been a Big Tega podcast, and I've been here with King Mo, expressing himself, telling us about his journey, his goals, and his future ambition. So now I want to call it a wrap. Until next time, remain blessed.